Ah, the sheer wonderment of libraries and books. I'm so delighted that you still have books here.
Yes, and libraries will always have books because that's the mainstay of the public library service. And in Libraries NI we have a huge collection of books ranging fiction, non-fiction, heritage collections. We're actually sitting in the Heritage Collection in Newry City Library today, the Heritage Gallery, and we're developing the collection here in Newry to reflect on the history of the area, the history and the heritage.
But isn't it wonderful that we have that facility here, that we can go back into our tradition, our heritage, our culture, and find the things that motivated people in the past? This is perhaps one of your greatest reasons for being.
It is, and within Libraries NI and Heritage especially, we have unique collections. In Newry, just 2 days ago, we launched, or we were presented by the Historical Association with the book that had been edited by James McAreevy, and
Yes.
it was reflecting on the history of the canal and the shipping that would have come into Newry, and the history of Warrenpoint as well. So we had a lovely, interesting morning, and were presented with a lot of copies of the books.
Wow.
And I even noticed sitting over here today, there's a book about the people who were in the Navy from the surrounding area as well. So it was very interesting.
We're blessed with a seagoing and a military background, because men went from this area trading on the oceans of the world. They also went to the Great War, you know, they were from here. And you have substantial records of that here.
We have substantial records. We have records here, but also in Belfast Central Library we'd have the biggest collection of unique heritage resources. And actually what we're doing at the moment is digitising letters that the chief librarian at the time, during the 1914 to 18, wrote to his staff.
I'm going to stop you there. Did you have a chief librarian in 1914?
Oh yes, I have.
Wow, you've been around for a while.
Not me, but
no, but I was going to say you're looking very well on it, I tell you.
But the chief librarian at that time actually wrote to his staff who went to the trenches, and they wrote back to him, and the letters are all kept. So they're being made available digitally over the next couple of months. And there's a whole history of those people. We're also trying to use the whole decade of centenaries to actually engage with local communities right across Northern Ireland, especially people who wouldn't be normal library users, to engage with them, to look at maybe histories of whole streets in Belfast whereby people went to war, maybe didn't come back, and then there are families there that didn't know anything about them.
Don't be sorry at all. It's almost like the Ulster Folk and Transport Museum between the covers of a book.
Yes, it is. It is actually, and it's tremendous amount of interest. And at the moment we're working towards, I suppose, reflecting on in 2016 on 1916 North and South, what we're actually going to celebrate and how we bring communities together, because that would be a big element of our library services about targeting social exclusion, to bring people into libraries, to reduce the barriers to library use, and to help celebrate, I suppose, our diverse histories.
If you can do that, reduce the barriers, if you can help celebrate diversity, you should go and be First Minister and Deputy First Minister at Stormont, because we're not terribly good at that.
I know, but we in the library service try as much as we can to bring people into the library and to understand the wealth of history, and also that shared history that we have. We're also looking at the role of women in the First World War, and the role of women in Ireland, North and South, suffragettes as well, but also the fact that we had the first, I suppose from the South, the first woman in Parliament as well. So we're trying to look at that history and recognise the whole role, but we always pick up on those historical things, because again I think the famine commemoration is coming to Newry next year, so we'll be taking an active role in that as well. So anything that will bring alive the history and the culture of the area, we try to celebrate.
You're celebrating it well, because you're very much at the heart of the city of Newry. There's no doubt about that. And you've recently refurbished, blossomed, opened up.
Yeah, we did that about 2 years ago, and we opened up this floor that we're sitting on now, where the Heritage Gallery is, would have been a storage room. So we opened up the entire library, 3 floors, and spread the use of the library. So now we have a dedicated children's library on the floor below. We have adult lending, quiet spaces up here. We have the whole ground floor is actually like a snapshot of what is in this library. So every single thing that you could want to do, newspapers, magazines, an art gallery that has been booked out for the next year or so. It's amazing. Actually, the local cultural scene in Newry is quite outstanding. So it's not just Newry. library. It's Kilkeel, where we have a new library in Kilkeel, and we have an art gallery in there as well. We've recently refurbished Crossmaglen that just opened about last week. So we worked with the council to refurbish it and extend it in Crossmaglen, and we've created a dedicated children's space because it's a very rural, isolated community.
And it's isolated, it's also very specific, and it's also very integrated, and it's a place apart.
Yes.
And with its own unique infrastructure, its own unique system of life, and you've got to recognise that.
Yes, we do, and very much a rural community, and we've worked very closely with the local people and with Newry and Mourne District Council, who've been tremendous in helping us to develop, because they're developing the community centre down there as well. But for the library purposes, we have completely changed around the library and dedicated to children's space, but also a young adult space for those children and young people coming back after schooling in the evening, and somewhere to use the library and to study. And you know, you can see computers all around here. We have computer access through all our libraries in Northern Ireland, but also Wi-Fi enabled, so anybody can come in and use their own
You can have no
devices.
idea how important that is for older folk who don't have the money to have broadband and whatever else, but they can come in here and they've got a space to recreate, a space to check things out, to Google-ize, as I like to say, this, that and the other, and you contribute to learning for life.
Yes, we do, and we have an information team of librarians that actually help people to learn how to use you know, the computers. So it's learning digital skills.
So if I'm a duffer on computers, I can come in and say, "Please help me."
Yes, you can do.
And
yes,
you'll do that.
Wow,
that's
we have
something
a Got
special.
It program for initial beginners. A Got It.
Got it, as in being
G-O-T,
got it.
got
Oh,
it.
got it.
Yes.
I've got it.
Yes,
as
yes.
opposed to got it.
Yes,
G-U-T-T.
yes, got
yeah.
it. And there are different modules that people can access and be trained on, and then the next step in that is go on. But again, it's our staff help. It's about bringing, I suppose, the digital inclusion for all
You have
people.
the finest staff here, because you compliment Newry on its cultural dynamic, but the staff in here are hand in glove with that, and they're known to everyone, and they're reaching out constantly and in a friendly fashion to make people feel this library is my home.
Yes, yeah, they're tremendous staff here,
They do-
and we're
they do
very
things,
proud
yeah.
of them, and they work together great as a team as well. And you can see this morning in the library we have the Teenage Kicks Health
Yeah,
Fair,
yeah.
and everybody's together. But I think what is here is a real community hub. And
very
that
much so.
The staff recognise that,
Good
and
choice
the
of
staff
words, yeah.
participate and make that happen.
What you haven't got yet is the ability to put the smell of paper and antiquity into Kindles.
Yes, yes. But we do have people, I suppose it's choice, isn't it? That people actually like to have the choice and the access maybe out of hours as well.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I love books also, but we have a greater amount of ebooks that are available to people. And also people maybe with differing needs can access the ebooks much easier if they can't read or visual impairments. And we also have books on CD or tape that you can actually listen to as well. So people welcome that also. But I think it's a wide range, and we try to be in a very inclusive library service.
You are all of that, and it's indisputable that you're at the top of your tree at the moment. Where do you go next in Libraries Northern Ireland?
Well, we keep developing our services. We actually have teams of people who develop services around heritage, culture, information, learning and children's and reading and reader development. So we're always trying to be ahead of the game, to develop content, to develop programming that will actually bring more people into libraries, because it isn't just about borrowing the books. That's a huge element of it, but there's online access. We've just introduced a Zinio, which is e-magazines, which will bring around 200 titles available anywhere within Northern Ireland, whether you're in the library or outside of it. And that means everybody can have access at the same time.
Wow.
So that's a really good new service that we have introduced. But we're always trying to develop and to refresh what we do so that people will still continue to come in and use libraries.
Well, your people have been coming into my programme on Destination Newry, and we should firm up on that, and we should get you there. There should be a library programme once every month, and that would be beautiful to do that. We should look at that.
Yes, I think that would be really nice, because we always want to tell people what's on in libraries and to help people who maybe feel that the library's not for them, that it is for them. Just to come in and use it, and the staff will make them very welcome.
What made you a librarian?
Probably always a real interest in books and reading.
Were you a bookworm at school? Were you to be found in the library in school with your nose buried in books? Or were you a tomboy out running around?
I probably would have been in reading, always as a child, and I was the prefect in the library. I'm just thinking back now, at a time when I was at second level school and that as well, but always reading. But I'm not sure. I think the reading was part of it, but also I think recognising the library as a very big social space. The actual building of the library and what that building can do for people and how it brings people in to share what's going on. The culture especially is a big element of that, but all the other things we do, like reading, we have reading groups here. We have a lot of reading groups.
You have knitters and natters.
We do, because that,
I knew about that.
Was set up as part of a Health and Mind project. By the big lottery funded that, and we have partners with that, but that really helps people with low-level mental health issues. So there's a section downstairs here in Newry City Library as well, but that's big, and that's where the knit and natter came from. So that's a social thing too, that people can knit and natter, and then they do great things for charity with that, because they knitted for Bernardo's and sent teddy bears and little teddy bears jumpers off to people in Africa and that. So there's an awful lot of things that happen in libraries. And even by osmosis, people are in a library and they see what's happening, and that might make them then go and do other things.
Yes, they could. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's all those opportunities that a library can offer.
By a process of osmosis, their noses go a little higher in the air. Say, I was reading in the Times today, or whatever. That sort of thing. There's a social sort of ongoing connectivity there, and it's all good. So you're busy. This is a big event today. We're going to hear about that other event very shortly. So thank you very much indeed. Take care.
Thank you.
Well, the business of the day continues. It's a busy place. And for Norma Miller, who's the operational manager of Libraries Northern Ireland, for our patch, for our part of the world, these times are exciting and challenging. Hey, Norma, it's a busy time here today. You're snowed out with people.
We certainly are. We're going to have about 300 students and young people from 5 local post-primary schools here today. We'll have a Teenage Kicks health fair happening right throughout the building, and it's a partnership event with Newry and Mourne District Council and the Southern Health Trust. So we're hoping to give a lot of information, have a lot of fun.
What's the origin of the title, Teenage Kicks Health Thing? What is that about?
Well, it was a programme that was initiated last year in Lisburn City Library, and it's a partnership event where we wanted to work with councils and health agencies to promote awareness for young people, but to make it fun. So we're targeting year 11s in schools, so they're around 14, 15-year-olds, so teenagers, and the Kicks was to make it attractive to them. So it's about all the things that provide a kick in their life. It's information on school work, exam pressure, drugs, alcohol, how to look after themselves.
Dare one mention the word sex?
There's some sex information.
Just sex health.
Sexual health, and presented in a very sensitive way.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But to signpost young people to the fact that there's a lot of health information available to them.
So what kind of people are coming into you today for the Health Kicks Fair Day?
We have a number of different agencies and organisations exhibiting here and spending time with young people. Such as the PSNI, who will show the effect of wearing beer goggles to show what it's like if you've had a beer and then you're driving.
What is a beer goggle?
A beer goggle. These are special glasses that simulate when you put them on, it shows what your vision is like, and you get asked to maybe pick a pencil up from the floor, so you see the effect of maybe having a beer on your coordination, your thinking abilities. So it's a practical demonstration, which is a good way to put a message across to young people.
Of course. Now, you're in the community. There's no stopping you.
No.
You're out and you're expanding and you're doing all sorts of great things. You're the operational manager.
That's right.
And is that for Newry?
It's for
this area?
It's for this area from Lisburn City Library to Portaferry to Newry, Crossmaglen, Kilkeel.
And what are the issues that confront you on a daily basis?
Making sure libraries are open and that we're getting lots of people in to use all the great resources we have, to use the books, to come to all the events and activities that we have. We have something happening in every library for children from 0 to 4. We have a terrific rhyme time, rhythm and rhymes series. We have story times. We have Christmas events coming up in every library in the area. We have bedtime story times as well. We have computer courses and we have a great selection of books for people to borrow.
I see you're well populated by people of an older generation.
That's right.
And they get so much out of it. It's almost like a club where they come and
It
they
is.
read the papers, they discuss things,
That's right.
they shoot the breeze.
Shoot the breeze. We have great spaces in libraries, and we want to welcome the community in, no matter what age. So we have tea and newspapers where people can come and sit and have a little chat, a bit of social interaction, spend time in a warm space and just relax and take it easy and have the opportunity to meet other people.
It's interesting that you say that, because the way life is nowadays, old people or older people very often have to choose between eating and heating. There is a poverty there. And if they come in here, they've got heat during the day. And those are people you welcome.
We welcome them, and we have the heat and we have company, and that's a really big factor at the moment, that older people are becoming more isolated. So
Lonely is a word.
Lonely and isolated. So we have great buildings and we have excellent staff, really friendly, welcoming staff. So we would like to do as much as we can and are actively trying to find lonely, isolated people and bring them in, maybe through community transport, community networks, to come and visit a library, have a nice time, meet other people, and just have a nice time in our lovely libraries.
You see, it seems to me that what you're doing is vital at the core of the community, because people, families, older people, they can actually build their entire week around visiting library.
They could.
You know, they're here one moment and they're doing their chittle and chattle, they're doing their reading, they're doing their meeting, they're doing their newspapers, then they go off somewhere and have a coffee, then they come back for the afternoon, that sort of thing.
That's right.
It all works.
We have activities for all ages, from 0 to 4 and right up to whatever age you are. And we're delighted to be resourced and able to do that. So whether you want to come in and read a book or attend an event, sit and chat with somebody, read a newspaper, use a computer, learn a new skill, come to this Teenage Kicks Health Fair. We just want to get the message out to everybody that we have great resources and great staff, and we'd love everybody to come more often.
Yes, indeed. Is it, I'm going to ask you about that, it's demonstrably excellent, there's no doubt about it. Is it a hard sell? Are people naturally reluctant to come out in the way that you would want them to come out? Are people naturally a wee bit private and don't particularly want to come in and in the wide open space of library and into the spotlight of being there?
I think we have a lot of work to do to keep encouraging people to come, and we do our very best to have outreach in the community and to contact local groups, organisations, individuals to promote what we do and to make that personal contact with people wherever they are, to show what we have to offer and encourage them to come in and meet us and use our spaces, because that's what it's all about, getting more people to come into libraries and see what we have. And maybe there are barriers, reasons why people have gone away from using libraries, and we want to overcome those barriers and attract them back in again. And some of it as well is just the pressure of modern life, the way society is. There are a lot of demands on people's time if they're working or have children, families to bring up, and just a lot of other conflicting pressures. So we want to make sure that we get the message out and make people aware of what we have got here for everyone.
What's your provenance? How did you come to libraries?
I started working in Bangor Library a very long time ago, in the last century, when I just left university. And maybe I thought it was just the first job to tide me over, but I loved it. And I loved the variety of it. And what I really, really liked about it was meeting different people every day. You never knew what you were going to be asked. And I loved all of that, and I've worked in a lot of different places and in a lot of different roles, but I still think meeting people and getting to know them and helping them to find their way through what can be complicated modern life is still one of the main attractions of working in libraries.
Norma Miller, thank you very much indeed.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.